9:04 on your Thursday morning. Good morning. Welcome back to the KIX 96.5 Morning Show. We love featuring indie artists on the show, and today we're heading to Canada to chat with singer-songwriter Sharon Marie White. Sharon Marie grew up in rural Manitoba, Canada. She learned guitar at the age of 14. She played shows for years and then took a break for about a decade. In the last 3 years, she's back at it and she's hitting it hard. Her latest single, Feels Like Home in a Small Town, just came out this month. We're excited to have Sharon Marie White on the show. First, Sharon Marie, thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks for inviting me, Jeff.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Well, tell us what's going on, because you live in Calgary most of the year, but your husband works in oil and gas. So where are you guys at now?
So we're in a little town, Swift Current, Saskatchewan. And we have to sometimes travel around in little towns. And, that's exactly where the song came, the idea for Feels Like Home in a Small Town, because we travel so much. And, I walk around in these small towns and, excuse me, people are waving to me, and I don't know them. But so that's kind of how the whole idea of the song started.
Yeah, sounds like Wyoming. People that you don't even know, they're still waving at you. It's still,
yes.
Still people are nice, which is always a good thing. So what does your husband do for oil and gas? What's going on up in Canada?
He's a pressure vessel inspector. So they have what they call turnarounds, and they take all the equipment down. It has to be inspected every few years, and so that's his job, and keeps him very, very busy. And when I'm in the trailer, we work out of an RV trailer, and so I do a little bit of work with him. And when I'm not busy, then I've got my trusty guitar here, and I'm always working on something.
Yeah. Well, you've been playing guitar since you were a teenager. You were a rocker to begin with, like in the 80s. What changed in the 90s to get you to start doing country?
Well, I was a rocker. But one of the guys in the rock band switched over to country, and he phoned me one day and he said, "Hey, it was in the 90s, and do you want to be in a country band?" And I mean, I've always loved country music. I grew up on it, with my mom and dad, listened to country and westerns. So I grew up with Patsy Cline and Dolly Parton and Willie Nelson, all that stuff. So, and then the music in the 90s in country was awesome. I had this plethora of music to choose from, for cover tunes. So we did that, and then that's kind of where I felt like home as far as songwriting. I would interject some of my own songs into the set list. And the really exciting part was people would get up and dance. And I'm like, oh, this is so cool. They didn't, I didn't even announce that I had written the song or anything, but lo and behold, they got up and danced. And so it really took off from there, and I took it more seriously. And now in the last 3 years, I'm really taking it seriously.
Yeah. What changed? I mean, did the kids grow up? What happened like 3 years ago for you to dive right back into it?
Well, we had a brand new country station open up in our little town in Alberta. And I had one song that I had done just in our little studio at home. My son played drums on it. My niece played piano. I had friends from all over play the bass and the guitar, and my husband mixed it. So I said to my husband, I'm just going to send it into the radio station. I'll probably never hear back. And lo and behold, again, she said, "Hey, come on into the station. We'll play the song, and we'd love to interview you." And so I asked them, I said, "If I brought in other songs, would you consider playing them?" She goes, "Yeah, absolutely." So that's how the whole thing started, and it just really got me excited again to take it a little more seriously. So I mean, from then on, I've been played all over the world, and I'm really excited and just to keep moving forward.
Yeah, what's with your husband Brad? Is he a tech guy, or how does he know how to do all this stuff?
Oh, he is so techie. He is in that regard. I can play guitar and I can write some songs, but I am not very good on the social media and all that stuff. Or so it's so nice to have our home studio, because I can go upstairs and I am so comfortable with him, to lay down the vocals and the background vocals, and it's great for people to go to other studios, but I think I would be even more nervous if I don't know the people. So it's really the best of all worlds, let's say.
Yeah, and he even films your YouTube live streams.
Yes, he does. And unfortunately, we've been so busy with work, we haven't had a lot of time to put new content out. But, during the pandemic, that's kind of when I started YouTube channel because we weren't as busy, and well, nobody was very busy, and
Yeah.
we had time to do that and invest that time and energy into it. So we'd love to start doing that again, or maybe I just need to get doing stuff myself too.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to ask, because it's been a couple months since you did one. I figured it was just summertime and you guys were busy.
Yes. But even, I should do more live streams as well, even on Facebook, because people seem to really, enjoy those. And it's nice to have, the chat back and forth. And and I realize how important that is. People want to stay connected to you. I mean, I have a family member that says, you post all this stuff, but they want to hear you. They want to, So, which is kind of nice to get that feedback.
Yeah, they like the personal touch. Go and check her out. It's SharonMarieWhite.com. She's on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Go to YouTube. Go check out all of the rest of her stuff. Her latest single, Feels Like Home in a Small Town, is out now, and you're going to hear it coming up. But earlier, last hour, we played I'll Bring the Wine. It's up for a Josie Award, I think, in October?
It is, yes. I was shocked because my co-writer, Dan Washburn, I asked him, I said, did you put in for this? He goes, no. I said, well, I didn't either. So I don't even know who nominated us, but we're sure grateful for it. I mean, it would be a feather in our caps to win an award for that. It's a very classic, traditional country song, and it's funny because my husband will be watching a movie, and the couples broke up and then they come back together, and he goes, I'll bring the wine. Just like, I mean, you see it all around you, right? You see that happening, and so that's what that song was about. Yeah, and it's still getting played. Well, like you said, you just played it, and it's getting a lot of great feedback. Yeah,
well, and you have another song called Pour Me Again.
Yes.
What do you like to drink, Sharon Marie?
Oh, I'm a red wine girl.
Okay.
Yes, that was another fun song to write. And again, my husband said, you should write a drinking song. So I took it as a challenge, and there you go.
Well, I figured either you were a raging alcoholic or it was just, the country feel with all these booze songs. Yeah,
just the country feel, right?
Well, I sit here and do the show, and I'm like, man, every other song is a drinking song in country music anymore. It's crazy. We're all drunks in country music, but that's all right. Well, what do your kids think? I mean, they must be. You said they were involved in the music. I mean, they must enjoy it.
Well, right now they're not. They're doing their own thing, getting on with their own careers. They are big time into mountain climbing and stuff like that, hiking. They do all that kind of stuff. So, but they're very supportive of what mom's doing, mom and dad. And, and I said, we're on the road so much with work. And I said, it's nice to hear from the boys and their gals and say, hey, when are you guys coming home? That's kind of nice to hear. It's like, but, they're very supportive, and they're just like, oh, we're so happy for you. So.
Yeah. Well, and you mentioned Dan. Is Dan an indie artist?
He sure is. Yeah, Dan Washburn, and he's from Ontario. And he's currently writing with a lot of different folks. So, if anybody ever wants to reach out to him, I wrote 3 songs, or he co-wrote with me on 3 different songs. So I'll Bring the Wine. I don't know if you ever had my song Help Me Fly. That one, and I'm really excited because when we go back home, we're going to be working on a brand new single, and it is country blues, because I love the blues, and he co-wrote that one with me too. So it'll be interesting when I put that one out, because it's very bluesy. So I'm hoping to maybe gain a few new fans in the blues genre.
Yeah, well, and it seems like Ontario is like a huge country hub in Canada. How is it in Saskatchewan and Calgary?
It's huge here too, and especially, I mean, we just had the Stampede in Calgary, and so there was a ton of great live music. And Saskatchewan has a lot of great indie artists too. So yeah, it's pretty exciting to just be in this, this framework of music, and to see how much talent we have here in Canada. It's pretty amazing. Now, it is really tough to get played on the radio in Canada, but with all these other avenues like yourself, and I just keep pitching it to whoever, wherever, and I really appreciate all the support I've been getting.
Yeah, I can't believe how much country music there is in Canada. I mean, we've interviewed probably 20 artists in Canada in the last 6 months. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, being an indie artist, you've been around quite a while, Sharon Marie. What's been different? I mean, obviously the opportunities, you can do it all yourself nowadays. What's been different being an artist now as it was 20, 30 years ago?
Well, yeah, and that's exactly true. I mean, with technology, it's amazing because anybody can put their music out there. Anybody can put it on, through CD Baby or any of the streaming services. But saying that, sometimes the quality isn't there, but at least you can do it. Back in my day, I made a demo tape. I did the whole thing in like 12 hours of 6 songs because we didn't have much money back then, right? We were little kids. And then you're sending it out to, A&R reps who may or may not ever even listen to it, And I mean, I realize now probably my songs back then weren't that good, but when you're in the process, you think they are, right?
Oh yeah.
So I think I've definitely grown as a writer, but yeah, and at least now you can send it to so many internet stations and. Yeah, at least be heard, right? And I just wish more of the stations would allow the listeners to decide what they want to listen to, right? Like the old days, when Loretta Lynn used to take her record around to the stations and they would play it and people would phone in and say, yeah, we love it. I wish those days would come back.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of trying to do here on the show is bring in other artists, bring in indie artists. We get enough of the same commercial crap pounding over your head all day long, and I don't know why. Because there's so much great indie art. I mean, there's a lot of indie artists that aren't very good, but there's more good ones than there are bad ones, and people don't hear it.
I know, and I think maybe if we could kind of change, with DJs like yourself, and just if we could, I honestly believe I'm not saying any of mine would go to number 1, but like a song like Pour Me Again, if it got the airplay that all these other ones do, I think people would have been requesting it and it would have gone farther, right? But when somebody just hears the song once, then, it's because it's repetition. You're right. Everything is scheduled. They play the same song at the same time, so yeah, but it is what it is. And I try not to get discouraged.
Well, yeah,
much. I try to, stay positive.
Yeah, you got to stay positive, especially being an indie artist, because you get a lot more no's than you get yeses. But I have people that come up to me in the street and they say, man, I really like how you do a lot of indie artists and you play a lot of music that we don't hear, that we'd like to hear, but people just don't believe that, or I don't know. Your latest one, Feels Like Home in a Small Town. This one sounds great. Did you do this in your home studio?
No, I have some of the best Nashville musicians.
Okay, because I was like, man, there's no way you did this by yourself.
No. What I do is I send it down to Jim Riley. He has his own studio, and he is was the drummer for Roscoe Flats. And so he does his magic with his guys and the keyboard player and the guitar player that used to play for Roscoe. So yeah, I am so fortunate to have those guys do my stuff. I send it down to them, or I sometimes have a Zoom meeting and say, this is kind of what I'm hearing, what do you think about this or that? And then I found another great bunch of Nashville guys, Chris Autry, and I just wrote a bluegrass song, so I sent it down to those guys, and they did a phenomenal job. So I feel very, very fortunate to be able to work with this level of talent. And again, that just kind of gives me a little bit of confidence, kind of a boost to say, keep doing what you're doing, and so I'm having a ball.
Yeah, well, man, and talking about all over the place, you talk about a blues song and now a bluegrass song?
I love it all. That's the thing. I never know what's going to come out when I start writing. And I always talk about Linda Ronstadt. Not that I have her vocal ability, but she could pull off every genre. And that's and because I did grow up with rock and roll, and I love Elvis and all that stuff. So yeah, you'll be hearing lots of different styles of music coming from me.
Yeah, go and check her out. Go and follow her, Sharon Marie White. She's at SharonMarieWhite.com. She's all over social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Her latest single, "Feels Like Home in a Small Town," is out now, and she's not slowing down anytime soon. Feels Like Home in a Small Town. You mentioned it. You were walking around. It came to you. Where were you at? Were you in Saskatchewan? Where were you?
Yes, we were in a little town in Saskatchewan. Yep, and the line about folks on the porch waving. I mean, that happened. So, and the old hotels on the corner. I don't know if little towns in the U.S. are the same, but
Oh yeah.
there's always those old hotels on the corner and the park with the epitaph. And I didn't put in park with the epitaph because it didn't rhyme very well, but.
It didn't fit, but it's there.
It didn't fit.
It's there in thought. Yeah. We're in a small town. Where are you at? I mean, how small is the town where you guys are at during the summertime?
It's about 18,000, and then my hometown in Alberta is about 35,000, and we're just about 15 minutes out of Calgary, Alberta.
Nice. We're in a town of 4,000.
Well, that's kind of where I was raised in towns even smaller than that. I'm from a little wee town in Manitoba called Napinka, and it's probably a population about 150. And I'm probably related to most of them.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's the same thing around here. It's 3 degrees of separation from everybody around here. But have you been to Nashville?
No, everybody says, okay, you're up for an award for a Josie. Are you going to go to Nashville? And I said, no, we'll probably still be working. But Dan said he might be down there, so that would be kind of cool if if we did happen to win and if he was there, if everything lined up. But fingers crossed, and it's just nice to be nominated, right? So
exactly, yeah. We'll go and
I'd love
follow.
to go someday.
Exactly, she'll be there someday, getting a bigger award. Sharon Marie White. Go and check her out, SharonMarieWhite.com. And here it is. Feels like home in a small town. Sharon Marie, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks so much, Jeff, for having me. I really appreciate the support. Yeah, and if I can gather some new fans, that would make my day.
Yeah, for sure. Go and follow her. Go and check her out. It's KIX 96.5.